Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here today. I invite you to find a comfortable position on your mats, wherever your body takes you. And begin to kind of let the body rest fully within the earth. Let the body sink as you breathe in and breathe out. And see if you can let the breath be natural as well, so that we're not actually working with really deep in-breaths and out-breaths yet. And you're just letting your breathing be as natural as it can be. In some instances, the breath might even feel like it's shallow. And in some instances, you might need to take deeper breaths in and out. Just let it be natural. So I've been doing a practice where every 3 hours I set my alarm, and every 3 hours, except when I'm sleeping, of course, but I take 3 minutes of pausing, whatever it is that I'm doing. And I just pause and I breathe and I feel the earth. Just come home for 3 minutes. And it is so incredibly nourishing to my nervous system, to this body, to my soul, to my heart, to just pause for 3 minutes. I think most people could do that, right? Even if with an office job or, no, I feel like it's feasible to take a few minutes at a time throughout the day to acknowledge this incredible mystery that we are in, that we live in, that we are part of, that we are. Acknowledge how we are being breathed. Acknowledge the flow of life within us. And just acknowledge that there is more to life than the thinking process, because the thinking mind just becomes more dominant. It's just the way it is for all of us humans. No one is spared from this, which is why we do yoga. In this way, we're bringing yoga within our daily lives. Take a breath in and a breath out. One more time. Start to move the body now. Awaken your senses to movement. You might begin with a stretch of some sort. You might notice some tightness in different areas of the body that you want to kind of wiggle around a little, wherever you are. And eventually bring yourself into a seated position. We'll open the practice together with the sound of Om, and then transition into some more warming up our bodies. If you're in the middle of a stretch, don't worry about it. Stay where you are, and you can just Om with us as you pause. Take a breath in together, and a breath out together. And opening together with the sound of Om. Inhale. Open your eyes and reach those arms sideways. Draw the chest forward and up. And just rock the head side to side a little bit. Make fists with hands, circle them through. Let your body start to kind of wiggle around in a seated position with some side bends potentially. And see if there's any kind of motion that comes to you naturally. For me, a forward fold came naturally. For you, it might be a heart opening that comes naturally. And taking your way to table, do some arching and curling. I like to start with this a lot because it feels really, really nourishing to the spine. And the spine, of course, is made of 3 parts: the lower back, the mid back, upper back, and the neck is an extension of the spine. So we want to continue to really incorporate it in movement. And from here, take your knees a little bit more sideways. Walk your hands a little bit more forward. And start to just take a few semicircles back and forth. Let the body eventually gain access to stillness again, maybe, or notice what it needs. If you come to stillness, you might drop the head down on the ground. And from child pose, Shift forward again and let the hips drop all the way to the ground and come on into a prone position on your belly. Lift the chest, tenting your fingers on the ground. Extend your legs back and elongate the legs as far back as they will go. And if it feels better to take the arms sideways a bit more so that there's less tension on the shoulders, do that. Take an in-breath as you open the heart to your degree, and on the out-breath, release. Let the forehead touch the ground. Activate the legs into the ground. Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. 2 more times, in and out. In and out. Release the forehead on your hands. Make a pillow for your hands. And reach your right knee towards the side slightly. And just rock your tailbone side to side to get into your hips a bit more. It can be very, very subtle, barely noticeable. Some pelvic tilts. And then take it to the other side. So there's nothing really too intense about, we're not going to hold this really deep hip opener for too long. Just going to do a couple of pelvic tilts. And then slowly release. Press yourself back up through table. And go back into a child pose. This should feel kind of pretty relieving to the lower back and to the hips. Nice. Come back to table pose now and curl your toes under for downward facing dog. And from your downward dog, reach your right leg up towards the sky. Of course, you can also do this from table, where you're just elongating that leg back with the in-breath. With the out-breath, bring the knee towards the chest and curl it. And again, in and out. 2 more. Last one. Step it forward, warrior 1. And circle the arms a few times. Let the hands rest on top of the sacrum behind you with the inhale. And with the exhale, you're going to hinge forward like a cat and a cow and roll back up. Finding these undulations around the spine is going to allow you to detangle some of that connective tissue that holds the wraps around the muscles and also the organs, really, all over. And then when you arrive, let your right arm rest on your thigh. Good. Let that left arm start to open up, circle through to the side with the in-breath. And on the out-breath, continue to circle it through. Come back to center and open up. Come back to center and open up. Notice how you're also accessing the hip opener here in that right hip. Finally, slowly open it up into a warrior two and adjust the placement of that back foot. Make fists with your hands and circle your wrists around. Then take your way into a side bend with the in-breath. On the out-breath, find a side bend on the other side. And do it again 2 more times on each side. In and out. 1 more. Breathe it in together. On the breath out, come back to a runner lunge. Frame your and back up. Use that core. Again, in and back up. In and up. Each time you lower down, squeeze your shoulder blades muscles. In and out. Another, squeeze your butt too and your legs. Breath in. On the breath out, we're going to find a reverse push-up here. Use your core to press you up and back, downward dog. Breath in. Breath out. Left leg rises, breath in. On the out, knee to chest. 3 more times. The last time takes you into your warrior one, stepping towards the left thumb, dialing that back heel down, getting it to face as much forward as you can with that back foot. Taking edge so that the edge of the foot is aligned with the back edge of the mat. And take a few side bends again. In breath and out breath. In and out. 1 more. Breathe it in here. On the out, frame the front foot with hands curled back, toes under, and extend that front leg up and back in a 3-legged dog. And out. Come into a forward fold to the front of the mat. Walk your feet forward. And rest here in this deeper forward fold than we've done before, noticing the effect on the backs of the legs. Two more breaths. Last one. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. An upward dog or a cobra. And out to your downward facing dog. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. To open up through the heart. Take it in. On the out, make your way slowly into some twisting motions. Bring the palms together and elongate them upwards with the inhale. With the exhale, hinge forward and take the wrists up and over the thigh. With the next inhale, open up that top arm. Twist a little deeper from your mid-back. Come back through with the inhale. The exhale takes you all the way up. And you're going to circle those arms through and dip down. Good. Inhale. If you're starting to feel fiery in that front leg, this is intentional. Inhale. And exhale. And when you open up again, inhale. And exhale. Each time we open our hearts or come into a nice opening, we inhale and exhale, dip. We're going to do this one more time. Breath in and breath out. Breath in and breath out. Inhale and exhale. Now you have the option to do this one more time or take a few dips up and down. Just down and up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale together. With the exhale, walk that back foot forward a little more. Elongate the front leg and turn to the side. Doesn't that feel good? I love this part. It just releases everything here, all that tension in that right glute area and the hip. And from here, we'll come into a Parsvottanasana pyramid pose. Activate both feet firm into the ground. Spread the mat apart with the feet as you bow in a forward fold. Shake the head no and yes. Blocks are welcome. Actually suggested if you have them. Breathe it in and breathe it out. One more. On the out, you're going to turn to the wide edge of the mat and all the way to the back of your mat into a runner lunge. Good. Separate those feet hip distance apart. Keep the right hand on the ground as you twist to your left. Take an inhale together. Exhale together. One more breath in. And with the breath out, you're going to return back to center and prep for your balance pose in Ardha Chandrasana half moon. So if you have a bottle or a block to place a few feet from your left foot, use it and then start to kind of stack your hips on top of one another. Good job. Maybe you use the wall if you have the wall too. I'm using the mirror with my head. It actually works great. For 3, 2, 1. Land the foot to the back of the mat and come into goddess pose. Heels in, toes out as you sink down. Bring your palms together into lotus mudra. And as you lift that mudra up towards the sky, separate the arms, press your hips back, and open your heart. Inhale. Exhale, bring it back down. 5 more times in. And out. In. and out. 3 more, in and out. 2 more. Last one. And as you bring it back down towards your heart space and sink down, hold for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Turn towards me again. Coming back to your Parshvottanasana. We're not going to actually bow forward. We're just going to have the Parshvottanasana feet. And then we're going to sink into that front leg and find our balance into airplane. So shift forward, balancing on that front leg. For 3, 2, 1. Lift the left knee towards the chest. And cross your left ankle on top of your right thigh. You can either stay here and just work on strengthening your right foot, or you can get a little deeper into a stretch by drawing your hips back and hinging your chest forward to your degree. It could be up here, or it could be all the way here. Some of you might be interested in taking an arm balance here. If that's the case, you would wrap that left foot around the upper arm, kind of like a monkey foot, and then plant the palms down a little bit more forward as you stack your knee on top of your elbows and draw your chest a bit more forward, potentially extending that right leg. Coming through and up with the in-breath. And on the out-breath, release the foot. Separate the feet a little bit wider. Take your hands to your hips and circle through, just to let go of any residual tension that's potentially still stuck around the back or the hips. Then come on down into a forward fold, maybe grabbing a hold of the big toes with the first 2 fingers, maybe placing your entire hands under your feet with knees bent. Let go of your neck and shoulders. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. One more. Release the hands, plant the palms, step back to your downward facing dog. Stay in down dog or shift forward to take your vinyasa through. Maybe you shift forward to just hold your plank for a while. Breath in, breath out. The left leg rises to the sky with the in-breath. The out-breath brings the knee to the chest to step into your crescent lunge. Take care your feet are hip distance apart as you come to your crescent. This will help you with balance. Take an in-breath together, arms reach overhead. With the out breath, the palms come together and you twist to your left side. Inhale it, twisting further from the mid-back. Exhale it, coming back with the palms together. Inhale and rise. Bend the back knee a lot, tuck the pelvis under. And exhale, dip, activating your full corners of the left foot into the ground. And again, exhale as you twist. Inhale as you twist deeper. Exhale as they come together. Inhale as you rise. And exhale, dip. One more time like this. So continuing with this motion, or taking some dips up and down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Walk the back foot forward slightly. Elongate that front leg and give it a little bit of a break. And then slowly start to re-square the hips to the front. Notice how, in order to do that, you really have to get that back foot to face more forward than you think. Then activate the feet firm into the earth as you bow forward, Parshvottanasana. Let your entire breath now become long. Each in-breath, make it nice and long. Each out-breath, let it feel as if it's fully released from the body. The elongation of breaths helps us to calm the nervous system, activating that parasympathetic nervous system, and really trying to find some equilibrium here so that we are calm and at ease rather than agitated in our practice. Breath in. On the breath out, walk the hands towards the wide edge of the mat and come all the way through to the other side of the room. Toe heeling that right foot towards the right so that you are still hip distance apart, and taking your twist to the other side. Left hand releases and you open up through the chest. One more in breath. And on the out breath, release. Start to prepare for your Ardha Chandrasana half moon. Move your water bottle or block a foot or so forward from your right foot and prepare to come into that standing balance again. For 3, 2, on the 1, bend that front knee and land gracefully to the back of the mat. Get both feet to face the wide edge of the mat and slowly bow forward in a wide-legged forward fold. Take an in-breath and an out-breath. And any variations here are also welcome. You might make some side lunges or some variations of the spine. And we'll add on a wide-legged forward fold twist. If you do have a block, place it underneath your face and place your right hand on top of it. Maybe you make a fist there. Left hand comes to the hips and you turn towards the left into a twist. Some of you might not like the height of the block and you'll release it to go a little bit deeper. Breath in. On the breath out, switch sides. One more breath in. On the breath out, relax. Slowly come back to neutral and walk your hands back towards the front of the room again in a runner lunge. And rise up, elongating the front leg for a moment. And come into that airplane position that we did before, with the palms at heart space or extended sideways. Relaxed shoulders, navel pulls in and up. Crown of the head draws forward, left glute is super engaged. And the right knee rises upwards towards the chest as the torso lifts, crossing the ankle up and over. Maybe this is plenty. Or we go backwards in a stretch. One more breath in. On the breath out, rise and release. We did it. Take a drink of water. Relax a little bit. Whew. It's juicy in here. Really hot as I drink my salad. I was thinking this morning, I'm pretty much putting a salad in here. I've got like spinach, kale, a bunch of greens, some protein powder, some ashwagandha powder, you know, all the good stuff. Some things I eat for taste, but this one is for energy. It's not tasty, you know, it's good enough. All right. Do you guys remember the movie Thor? Oh, he's like, this body needs sustenance. This mortal form needs sustenance when he gets down to the... Anyway. All right. let's come into this standing position with the feet hip distance apart, a little bit wider than hip distance apart. And we're going to take it into another quick kind of squat position. But this time, walk yourself back a little bit more and see if you can kind of sink down. Notice how far my feet are apart to give me a good base. And from here, I'm going to put my hands a bit more forward to come up onto the tippy toes, and my shoulders are on top of my wrists. And then I'm going to press back and sink down into a chair. So stay in your chair real quick, take a quick look. I'm going forward enough so I can press myself back. Do it. Forward enough, press back. Now you might start to add some fun hops to the mix. Hopping and landing. Yeah, they could be super light hops. Kind of like a monkey. Up and down. 2 more. And last time. Good. And rise. We did it. Separate the feet a little wider. Take some rocking motion side to side. And we'll bring our way back into a flow to downward facing dog. Inhale, 2 arms reach overhead. Exhale, bow. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant palms, step back to downward dog. Either stay in down dog or shift forward to hold plank. Either stay in plank or take your chaturanga through all the way back to downward dog. Now take your right leg to the sky with the in-breath. The out-breath, bring the knee towards the chest and step the foot where it is right now so that it's not all the way forward. No, walk it back a little more, Aaron. Yeah, good. Now, dial the heels to the left and walk that right foot to the side of the mat. There you go. Side plank with a hip stretch. For 3, 2, and 1. Come back to plank. And take your time now to lower the knees. Lower the chest down slowly for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As you arrive, lift your chest, set up your right forearm to the side like this, and turn over so that your elbows under your shoulders. Now, with the feet like this, stacked on top of one another, or with that top leg supporting you, you're gonna lift the hips up, activating that elbow into the ground. Hollow out through the armpit. Don't stress your shoulder for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Come on back onto your bellies and give me a locust pose. Inhale. Arms expand. Exhale, legs lift. And breathe for 3, 2, And 1, relax. Bring your heartbeat back into balance by breathing really, really nice and long. Let your full body feel the support of the sturdy earth. Nothing to hold on to. Inhale and set up your hands alongside your chest. Curl the toes under, engage your legs. We're gonna come up into a reverse push-up. Use the exhale to bring you up. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze everything tight and press. Back to downward dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, knee towards the chest. You're not gonna step forward. You're gonna step to where the foot arrives. And then dial the heels to the right and set up yourself in a supported side plank. For 3, 2, and 1. Come back to plank. Hold it with the in-breath. With the out-breath, lower the knees. Keep your chest drawn forward. Hug the elbows in for 5. Lower down, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach the ground with your torso and start to set up for that side elbow plank on the other side. Turn to the side. Set up your shoulder on top of your wrist, either with legs extended or the top leg supporting you. As you lift up and press the hips forward and up, squeeze the bottom leg for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back to the center and find Sphinx pose. Elbows settle under the shoulders. Tailbone tucks under. Chest draws forward and up. Legs engage. I'm going to do one more core exercise. Stay with your elbows on the ground and lift yourself for a forearm plank. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last 5. Release the knees only for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way to the ground and relax. Find that deep breath in and out and release. Now take your right knee towards the side for a half frog pose. And rest there, holding this stretch for a bit. Notice the difference between this and when we did it at the beginning of class. There should be some more space now around the hips. And bring particular awareness to your belly now. Softening all the muscles in your belly as much as they're willing to soften. Notice the pelvic floor muscles and let them soften as well. And feel the tension as it descends downwards and out of the legs. And take your time to slowly release the leg and elongate it back, taking your stretch on the other side. Let yourself be held by the silence, beginning to feel the silence within your body. Permeating your muscles and your cells. Another breath in. And breath out. Slowly come on out of this stretch. And we're going to set ourselves up for a quad stretch. So some of us will like to take the quad stretch on your belly like this, bending the right knee, grabbing a hold of the right leg, one at a time. Another option is to come on up and come into hero pose. Either sitting on your heels, if that's plenty, or sitting in between the heels, a la Bikram, and potentially releasing back a bit. And of course, if you did it on one side, you're going to switch to the other side eventually. Release and lift yourself back up to your table pose and then to your downward dog to prepare for a prone pigeon. The right leg reaches to the sky with the in-breath. The out-breath brings the knee towards the right wrist, foot towards the left side of the mat, elongating the back leg through, maybe staying upright or releasing all the way down. If a different pigeon is more preferable, then transition into that. And so in this yoga practice, we're really working to develop awareness of ourselves when we're operating in the world, so that we can just kind of watch, like the witness, how we are reacting in different situations. And as long as we remain in the seat of the witness, then our unconscious mind is not running us. We are in charge. And it's really a beautiful thing, in a way, now that I look back at my life. So many instances where I was unconsciously operating. So these practices that I recommended of pausing throughout your day, maybe not every 3 hours, but as much as possible, just for 3 minutes in different increments, brings us back home to the seat of the witness. Witnessing the breath flow, witnessing the ground beneath our feet. And we witness with compassion, because most likely what we see might not please us. And that's where the compassion comes in. And the more we do this over and over and over, the more equanimity and peace. Deep breath in. And on the out, slowly rise out of the pose. Take any stretches in between that are needed and transition to the other side. Yoga Sutras, the book of yoga, quote unquote, written by Patanjali, he's like the Buddha of yoga. He gives us some tools, some practices to use during that pause. Like right now, we're pausing. One of the things to usher in is the feel of silence in your body, the feel of stillness in your body and around your body. Finding that place between effort and ease, opening up to the spaciousness so that we become aware of the subtle body. The tingling in our hands and feet and the sensation of space within us and surrounding us. As we settle more and more into this, the breath becomes more spacious too. And the mind becomes luminous. There's more clarity. Slowly start to release out of the pose. Making your way onto your backs. However you get there is great. You can wrap that back leg through. Take one last stretch of your choice. Maybe it's a reclining twist. Or maybe you place your block under your sacrum to reach the legs up overhead. Eventually settling back in your Shavasana. And letting the softening continue. And as you find stillness in the physical body, begin to notice stillness in the relation to your body, so that there is this experience of this pervasive, calm, washing over you like a weighted blanket. Maybe imagining that you're floating in a pool of water that is so silky and just the right temperature for you. And softening within it, trusting it holding you. Becoming present to your sensations in the body. Notice your arms and all the tingling around the arms. And notice your legs, the weight and volume of the legs. And bring attention now to both the arms and the legs at the same time. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvina Vaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Take your time to slowly find some movements throughout the hands and the feet to reawaken the senses. Inhale. Exhale. And either remaining reclined for the close of our practice together or rolling over onto your side. Eventually rising upward to your seated position. I'd like to share the meaning of this mantra that I just chanted with you. It's a beautiful, beautiful chant. May we be protected together. May we be nourished together. May we work together for the benefit of all humanity. May no obstacles arise between us. Om, peace, peace, peace. Bringing the palms to the heart space. And sharing the benefits of our practice with all beings around the world. And we close together with the sound of Om. First, a cleansing breath. Inhale. I thank you for allowing me to teach you today. The Great Spirit in me bows to the Great Spirit in you. Namaste. All right.